my scrappy friends. I am working on a layout for the SpiegelMom Scraps Instagram challenge for National Scrapbooking Day, and my challenge is to use the same product in different ways. So in multiple ways. So right now I am working on just using this silk screen to put some acrylic paint through. I'm using some copper paint, and I just did it really nice and simple. And so now you see some modeling paste with a little bit of that Shimmerz spray sprayed inside it, and then I'm going to use a stencil to apply that. And I'm doing this in layers because mixed media always looks good in layers, and this is a nice and fun, easy way to add mixed media with a stencil. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the different stuff. And I was trying to use up as much of that paste as I could. So now this is dried, and I am going in to use the sprays a little bit different ways. So I'm going to be using the stencil 2 different ways, and the spray is being used 2 different ways as well. So you see me spray some of it into the modeling paste to color it, which obviously you could use like Dazzlers or something, and that would do the job too. And my dog Kona is helping me with my layout because of course she thinks she can help me. And I'm just taking my paintbrush and putting it in the spray, and then I'm gonna just let it drop. And I'm using 3 different colors. I'm gonna be using the bamboo leaf. I should have written this down. What was the other one? Keep Palm, and then I use some more of the pink Stilettos. And the Keep Palm is a Coloringz, and I want to say the bamboo leaf is a Vibes, but I'm not positive about that. So I'll make sure I have links in the description box below where you can find the products in the SpiegelMom Scrap store, because they are all there. So we are just, as you're watching that, so here is the second different way I'm going to be using the stencil. I've done this multiple times. If you've watched numerous videos of mine, I like to do this technique. It's nothing new. It's not very innovative as far as it's something I've done quite a bit of times, but it's just nice and fun, and it adds a pop of or a punch of black if you use black. If you want to use a different color with your stencil, that definitely works too. And I did make sure that I tried to do the stencil in a different way than like a different direction than when I added the modeling paste, but I did go over where I went on the modeling paste just for a few triangles, and some of the triangles I'm leaving open, and some I am adding like a line, like lines on the inside, and that's just so that it adds a different type of interest to the stencil, and it makes it a little bit different, so not all my layouts look like I've used the same stencil, even though I have. I really love this stencil. This is an Amy Tan stencil that went along with what collection? I want to say the Stitched collection, but I'm not positive about that, so I probably shouldn't even say that's the collection it went with. Now we are teaming up with the Wild Whisper design team, and that is a Canadian store that sells some awesome stuff. They have exclusive papers that they sell, so collections like 6x6 pad, and I think they have some Project Life or Pocket Page type cards as well. And then they also have a whole bunch of other goodies like wood veneer, and they have their own sequin mixes that SpiegelMom Scraps, so Jody has made up for them, and some embossing stuff. So some really cool stuff in their store that is a little bit different, and it's in Canada. So if you live in Canada, definitely it is an awesome deal to do. And they also have some free cut files that you can get. And I am using one that looks like naturey. So it's like leaves and stuff. And it was in a banner. So I cut it, when I put it in my silhouette, I trimmed it down so that I got mostly the fronds, so the naturey leaf fronds, and then I left in, there was the word dad and mom and best ever, but I didn't keep the best ever and I didn't keep the mom. I did keep the dad, even though I thought about taking that out too. So now I'm just layering up some of these papers that I used to cut those leaves out. I wanted to do lots of different colors because I knew I wanted to layer them. They're really, really fun. They're very intricate, so you really want to make sure that you have a sharp blade, because if you don't, then it will be really hard to get every little piece off. So here is my cat. She decided that she needed to be the center of attention, so I will probably be editing some of this out because she really got in my way. I tried to keep scrapping, but she was not having any of that. So, of course, for National Scrapbooking Day, we have a cameo by Amberly and Kona today. So here I am back and Amberly is gone and I'm working more on layering. I'm going to be using my little tiny attacher to staple some of the pieces on there, and I'm just layering those leaves, and I added some flowers, and I'm just trying to see what colors look good together. I did different patterns from the Oh My Heart collection from Paige Evans, and that's Pink Paisley. I'm using mostly that, but I do add some stuff from the Maggie Holmes collection, the new one. And then I want to say I added a few things from Wild at Heart, but I'm not positive about that. So it's mostly this Paige Evans collection. I did have kind of a hard time figuring out exactly how I wanted my layering. I think I took a little bit longer doing this layout than some of the other ones, but I really liked how it turned out in the end. So the layering may have taken a little bit longer, but it was definitely worth it in the end. So sometimes that's just how it works. Sometimes you just have to focus a little bit more on the layering, and I find that the more I layer, the better I get, and the more I like it. So if you're someone who doesn't do a lot of layering, or you think you can't, I say just practice. Use lots of different scraps. That's what I find works the best. Using pieces that are different shapes and sizes, and mixing and matching and doing different colors, and using bold patterns, but a solid and then a bold. So, or a subtle pattern and then a bold pattern, so that you can see each of the different sizes. So I added this bigger piece, and that one is from Wild at Heart, the polka dots, because I thought that that would really help give that black and white from Paige Evans that pop that it needed to stand out. And I'm just figuring out where I want to add some stuff. I'm sorry that I'm off screen a little bit. I didn't realize I was so low on there. So I'm going to clean up my desk a little bit because it's a little messy. And now I'm going to actually build my layers on my paper. So a lot of times I do this, I'll build my layers off from my layout, especially if I'm letting it dry, because this did have to dry. It took a little while. The sprays take a little bit longer than using, I don't know, like the acrylic paint that they have, that Shimmerz has. Definitely doesn't take as long to dry. I'm just layering that. I wanted that aqua color to be on the bottom, and I'm just gonna glue it down, and look and see what other stuff I want to add. I knew I wanted to add another flower, something up at the top, just to add a little bit more because more is better, right? More is always better. And then I'm going to add just a couple of pieces. I thought about adding the love to the stay at home, and I decided not to. I decided to put it here, but then I do end up putting something else, a rubber charm up there, because I really just liked the way that that looked. And I was trying to see if I wanted to add that, and I decided that I didn't. I didn't want to add too much of a lot of different collections because I didn't want to go crazy, even though it kind of is a little crazy, but that's okay. So I really like that flower from the Paige Evans collection, and I am going to end up putting it back, but first I'm going to outline because it always looks better when you outline. No, I just like the way that that looks. It's just something stylistic that I like to do, and I have done this with just thread and stuff, and that looks really cool too, but I really didn't feel like pulling out my sewing machine and getting it all situated. I kind of have it tucked away right now, and I'm just gonna glue some of this stuff down. I'm gonna finally glue that flower down, and then I'm gonna put that flower on pop dot so it stands up just a smidge. So I hope you guys head over to Instagram and play along with my challenge. Make sure that you tag us. The tags were at the beginning, and I'll make sure I have the tags in the description box below so that you can play along. And I believe you have all month to play, but I'm not positive, so I will make sure I have that information below. But you can win prizes if you play and tag the layouts that you are making with the challenges. There's also lots of other challenges by all the other ladies on the design team, our design team, and there may be a few of the ladies over at Wild Whisper doing some challenges as well. So make sure you look up our tags so you can see all the other challenges and see what everybody else has come up with. And then you can play along with it, whatever ones that you feel like are ones that are your style. So that is the fun part about having tons of challenges to choose from. So I decided to use that thumbs up, and the reason why I did it is because this is a picture, and it's a really small picture, but I actually really like the way that it looks on here. I'm really glad I decided to use a small picture, even though I don't do that very often. I usually like to use a bigger picture so you can see it, and just, I mean, I have a 12 by 12 size, so why not use a bigger picture? But it is a picture of my laptop with Google Hangouts, and this picture is actually a couple years old. It is from September 2015, and that was when we did, or when I did, the first online craft for the Crafty Maven, and we actually haven't done too many, but it was one of the ones that we did, and that was the very first one, and it was the first time that we did the Google Hangouts for the crop. And so I think we did 2 that weekend, and they turned out amazing. We had a lot of scrapbookers coming in and out and scrapping and chatting, and it was just nice and fun. And since then I have done quite a few more. Pretty much every single crop that I have participated in at some point, I have pulled out my laptop and went to Google Hangouts and done that because you can add more than one person into your chat, and so lots of people can see each other, and it feels like you're kind of scrapbooking. So I thought that this would be a great layout to make for National Scrapbooking Day or International Scrapbooking Day, depending where you are, because it is about getting together and doing challenges and crafts. So, and I haven't really scrapped that many photos of the times that I've done crafts and stuff, even though I've taken pictures pretty much every single craft that I've done online. Now you can't see what I'm doing in this corner because I didn't realize I was off screen, but I'm taking a frame and putting it on the corner, and I'm just going to add some other things like a chipboard flower and one of the rubber charms and a phrase sticker that says "Be bold." And there you go, now you can see it. And I picked Be Bold because I thought that it would work well with doing a crop and doing Google Hangouts, especially for the first time. It was a little nerve wracking as far as like the anticipation of it and not knowing how it was going to go. But I really had fun. And I am using these Wild and Free pack of sequins to add just along. I almost didn't add them, and I'm really glad I did because I decided to put them in the layers of these die cut or the silhouette cut files, and it looks really, really cool. So when you see the close-ups, you definitely have to watch it so that you can see where all the little sequins are. And of course it gummed up my finger. I need to start using my pickup tool a lot more because I really hate gummy fingers. I don't know about you. I hope you guys have a great International Scrapbooking Day weekend. I hope you guys were able to get many challenges done and lots of scrapping done. I've been able to do only a little bit of scrapbooking so far for the weekend, but that's okay because I can just scrap all week. How about let's just make it International Scrapbooking Day week? That's what I think. But anyway, have a great week. I hope you guys play along and see all the fun stuff, and make sure you look at all the links below so that you can see where you can buy this, get all these stuff that I'm using, and you can check out the Wild Whisper store as well and link to us your projects because we really want to see what you guys are doing too. I'll see you guys later and have a great week.